Did you call him a child? Did you call the child the word?
Hello viewers, welcome back to the channel. In a viral overwhelm that is taking over TikTok, an explosive playground confrontation in Rochester, Minnesota is drawing national attention and sparking heated conversations online. The footage shows a woman aggressively pursuing a neurodivergent child, hurling slur and escalating a situation that many says never should have happened. But what is most alarming isn't just what was caught on camera, it was what happened after. From threat and racism to public calls for her identity, the internet is responding loud and clear. This behavior won't be tolerated. As the video spreads, one name is rising with it: Shiloh. Her viral commentary on the situation, paired with her sharp observation and unapologetic voice, is striking a nerve across platforms. Her fundraiser skyrocketing past $500,000. Her message loud, bold, and unapologetically calling it out for what it is: a case study in model-day racism, denial, and online mobilization. Today, we are diving deep into the trending video, the reaction flooding social media, and what this moment says about race, justice, and power in America. Stick around, this isn't just another viral video, this is a turning point. Let's get into it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, while I censor it, she uses that word in this video multiple times. Rochester, Minnesota is where this happened. There's a man, we'll just say that he is not white, right? He is at the park with his children. He sees this woman start berating a little black boy, calling him the N-word, and he confronts her.
Did you call him a child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him a Okay, why don't you have the balls to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people's you dumb.
Nobody digging through your
A little kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
God help us. She claims that other child took her son's belongings. That's what kicked this off. The guy who recorded the video is familiar with the other child. When he brings his children there, that child and his siblings are often there and play together. The kid she's going after has autism. He doesn't behave in a neurotypical way. And even if he didn't have autism, nothing he could have done would justify her calling him slurs and pursuing him physically, which is what she says she was doing before this guy intervened. He said after he stopped recording, she sat down, hurled more slurs, told him and his wife that they should leave the country, and then got on the phone and acted like she was calling someone to come down there and handle things. Fortunately, no one came, and eventually she packed up her child and left. But this woman is a danger to children. She doesn't need to be on a playground or around other kids. And she has at least one child of her own, which is also concerning. So Rochester, Minnesota, someone do me a favor. Take a close look at her tattoos. You can see her face clearly. Someone please tell me who she is.
There's mom Shiloh Hendricks going viral on the internet right now. She told a kid who, by the way, when you actually look at the picture, the kid is like pretty decent sized child. He was rummaging through her bag and stealing her children's, I guess, toys or whatever out of her bag. She tells him to fuck off, essentially.
No, let's call it for what it is. She called him the N-word. Hard R. And no, that's not okay, nor is it acceptable. If that child was rummaging through her stuff, you could call him a piece of crap, you could call him a thief, you could call him a burglar. There's a million things you could call this individual. She specifically chose to use that word. And what's even more crazy is it was a child making these poor decisions, not an adult. So no, Shiloh Hendricks shouldn't have said that, and she doesn't deserve a GoFundMe or a GiveSendGo or whatever that's worth over $500,000. But here's why that's actually happening, in my opinion. And this is one of the reasons I've been so vocal on trying to fight black racism against white people and calling it out. Shiloh Hendricks has now raised more money than Carmelo Anthony. And she raised this money after calling a black individual the N-word with a hard R. That is wild. But him raising $500,000 after stabbing a white kid in the chest is also wild. This is a response to that. White people saw a white kid get stabbed in the chest by a black kid. This black kid should have never had that weapon to begin with. Then they saw black people telling this kid good job, supporting him and sending him hundreds of thousands of dollars. And many of the black community's response to him stabbing him in the chest and sending us money to his give, send, go is a problem. And now the same thing with Shiloh Hendricks and white people sending her money, backing her after she called this young child the N-word. That is a problem. And again, this is why I've been so focused in many cases on calling out bad behavior in the black community, because I see it as destructive, and it is destructive. Because many black Americans are creating the exact thing they say they do not want. When white people consistently see you saying derogatory things towards them, talking about you don't care what happens to them, sending money to a black American to defend himself after he stabbed a white child in the chest, and being happy about it, what response do you expect? Everybody's gonna have their limit. There's typically 3 types of white people that are supporting Shiloh. One is just flat out racist. Yes, those people are out there 100% undeniable. The second is trolls, people that want to troll black people and just piss them off. Because we're very reactive. It's easy to get a reaction out of us, especially with things like this. But the third is people who are sick and tired of the double standard and being treated poorly by black people, and then they're expected just to take that from black people because they're black and they're white. A lot of them are saying, no, we're done with the double standard. We're done being treated like crap, and this is how we're going to respond to you if you want to play this game. And make no mistake, this is white people lashing back out after years of having to be quiet and not respond to black people being overtly racist to them. Like I said before, people can only take so much before backlash actually happens. So many black people, by perpetually being racist and aggressive to white Americans, are actively creating the situation they say they want to avoid. If you don't want people to be racist to you, do not be racist to them. Again, this is not me defending white people or Shiloh Hendricks. Shiloh Hendricks doesn't deserve really any of the money she got. But what I'm doing is I'm objectively looking at what's happening and just being real. I'll say it again, if you don't want other people to be racist to you or your people, do not be racist to them, and urge your people to not be racist to them. That is the best way we can have both sides get along in this country. Because right now the racial tension is just rising. And that is not a world you or I want to live in. It's not a pretty place to be.
Million. And honestly, I'm sitting back, I'm watching this, and this got to be a case study soon. Like one day, this is going to be a case study. Heart of a racist. How far are they willing to go? And honestly, this kind of makes me feel like we're not crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we knew we weren't, but it's really funny to watch it happen in real time. I want Shiloh to get that $1 million. Like, this is proving a very good point. I mean, she was originally at 250, but now she's she's over $500,000 right now. And quite honestly, she's using their emotions against them, and it's quite funny. Like, I cannot wait for this to be like case studied and everything, because like they are so dumb. I mean, think about it. All the people who need life-saving surgeries can't even raise that kind of money. But being a racist, you can. And quite honestly, if I would, I'd do it too for a check. Her goal is...
Hey, I need y'all to understand that this app is no longer the place it used to be. I've seen so much racism on this app, more than I've ever seen, that it's crazy. It's a shame that things that we love turn into the things that harm us. So there was a fundraiser for the white woman that called a little autistic child the N-word, and she has like over 400,000. She's raised over $400,000 in funds from GoFundMe, right? But I wanted to do some like house cleaning, boundary setting stuff. For those of you who follow me, who support me, who like my content, please do not respond to racist comments. We don't do that here. Responding to racists emboldens them. Racism is not logical. Racism is nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. I don't respond to racism, and I expect those who follow me, who support me, I expect you not to respond to it either. It does nothing for the community. It actually does us a great disservice to respond to racism. that is blatantly nonsensical, like all racism is. You cannot respond to racism with logic. You cannot respond to racism with education. You cannot respond to racism with good sense, right? I was watching an exchange between a racist and a black woman just recently under one of a creator, and the racist just got more and more and more evil, more sinister. They don't change. They don't learn new things. They're not interested in changing their minds because they are so deep in their hate. That's not something that can be changed with words. These people need shock therapy. In general, I think black people need to have more boundaries when it comes to things like racism. We need harder boundaries when it comes to racism. And then we will not have a discourse with people who are being blatantly racist and blatantly prejudiced. I know it's hard. It's real hard. But just block and move on. Block and move on. Okay? Setting clear boundaries against something is so good for your mental health. If you haven't done it, you should start. When I stopped responding to racism, when I stopped responding to racists, my mental health went through the roof. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I have joy in my life. I've been resting. Have boundaries. Strict ones. If you do come across racism in your comment section or anywhere on the internet, block. And if you're able to, if you can, find out where these people work. Find out where these people live. I'm not encouraging doxing, but if a person works with the general public and they are being blatantly racist online, what do you think they're doing offline? Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I will be moving to YouTube very soon. I have to get away from this app. It is X. This app is X. This app is Facebook. This app is all of the apps that we were trying to get away from. That's what this app has now become. Stay vigilant, folks. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Ismail Abu Zaid. Minnesota, what happened? I just want to update you about an incident that happened in Minnesota, Rochester to be exact. There was an incident, blatant incident of racism. And of all people, it's against a child, especially a child on the spectrum for autism. Unfortunately, unfortunately, if you will, this incident was caught on tape. I'm sure a lot of those things happen, especially in Trump time, right? A lot of people who would be hiding now feel empowered, unfortunately. So, a woman by the name of Shiloh Hendricks, who was caught on live video, was calling a child, an autistic child, whom she allegedly says stolen or took toys from her son or her child. A 5-year-old child, mind you, right? And that's what she's alleging. We don't even know whether that's true. But regardless whether that's true or not, it doesn't justify calling a child, or anybody for that matter, the N-word. Well, not only did she do that, but when she was confronted by a passerby or someone who was in the area and actually asked her, why are you calling her? She basically said the same thing. She didn't deny. She didn't say, I never called him anything. She just said, well, I'm calling him basically because he took my son's or my child's toy. Now, mind you, he actually got angry, irritated, as anybody would. And he said, if you've got the guts to say that to my face, basically. And she repeated it, and it was caught on tape. You can look it up, but her name is Shiloh Hendricks. She's all over the media, everywhere. But that's not really that's not where it ends. That happened, bad enough, right? The Rochester community rattled, but that's not the end of it. She actually goes as a victim, right? Playing a victim. She goes online. She goes to this place called, it's kind of like a GoFundMe, like a supposedly be Christian-based GoFundMe-like platform. And she just goes on and on about how she was the victim, how she was exposed, how her information is out there, how she doesn't feel safe anymore, how she needs to relocate her family. Mind you, the same aggressive woman who was so shameless, so brazen, that she attacked basically and was calling a child, an autistic child, names. Now she's suddenly the victim. And in normal world, in normal circumstances, in a ideal world, that would have been crazy, if not laughable. But now, not now. She actually is raising money, a lot of it. She set a goal of $1 million. In a couple of days, she already is halfway. As you can see from the screen, already raised over $500,000. Based on what? Hate. How do I know? Just go ahead and look at the, I'm actually going to put the link with this video. Go and check the comments, or the people who are donating, who are commenting at the same time. Their name, they go by names like Nate Figures. You know what that means. Names like, basically they're calling Africans or blacks monkeys. They're saying things that are so horrible that nobody can repeat them. But here they are, and they're not hiding. Now, some of these donations are, by the way, big, like $2,000 or more. And based on what? She's not a victim. She's the aggressor. She's the one. I mean, I would think, even if people are hateful, they would at least know the limits, like, okay, these are children. These are children. Everybody should, in theory, even hater people, like, should be feeling some kind of empathy towards children. But no, they are supporting her. And in their minds, she, an adult, someone despicable, who's basically a hater, she is the victim. That's the world we live in. That is Trump's America. Whether you like it or not, you're going to talk about these things, because they're going to happen. They're going to repeat themselves. They are all over the place. And the only way we can know these things is when we record them. Because I would say 99.9% of them are not getting recorded. Therefore, we are never hearing about it, but the victims are there. So when you hear people talking about these issues, when you hear people complaining about these issues, don't dismiss it. Because what we're recording is so much. Just the other day, ex-husband of Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's a congresswoman, he was saying similar things against Muslim women. And here we are, black child in Rochester, Minnesota, right, is being called the N-word. That's America in 2025. And I would like to be reporting something much better about Minnesota, especially that's a state that I actually enjoy and I like and I frequently visit, as you can see from my the shirt I'm rocking today. I would like to, I mean, I was in Rochester not long ago, like less than a month ago. Assalamu alaikum. Ismail Abu Zaid.
So what you are witnessing in this now viral video out of Rochester, Minnesota isn't just a case of a parent losing their temper. It's something deeper, more systemic, and frankly more dangerous. Because what starts as an accusation about missing belongings spirals quickly into a racist aggression, ableism, and threat, all targeted at a vulnerable child. Let's be clear. There is no excuse, none, for an adult to chase after a child, especially one with autism, over a playground dispute. That is not parenting, that is not accountability, that is intimidation. And for this woman to hustle, then double down by threatening others and feigning a call for someone to come and handle it, that is not heat of the moment frustration. That is a pattern, that is mentality. That is someone who feels entitled to act without consequences. And thankfully, she was caught on camera. The man recording a calm presence in an increasingly volatile moment. You can hear his voice that he is not surprised by her behavior, disappointed maybe, but not surprised. That is because this isn't new. Black parents, immigrant families, and anyone rising in through disenfranchised children is predominantly white communities. They know this playbook, the assumption, the threat, the double standard. Now let's talk about the child she targeted, a kid with autism, a child who by definition experiences the world differently, a child who may not pick up on social clues the same way or maybe behave in ways others find unfamiliar, and yet this child is still deserving of dignity, respect, and protection. But in this video, that's not what he got. Instead, he got chased, called names, used as a scapegoat. And what is worse is that this isn't an isolated incident. This is one of the countless moments where neurodivergent children, particularly those of color, are criminalized for simply being themselves. They are often misunderstood, misdiagnosed, and mistreated, both in school systems and, as we see now, even on playgrounds. So when we talk about this woman being a danger to children, it's a hyperbole, it's real. Then there is the racism, because once the slur came out, and yes, according to the multiple witness and the man recording, they did not come out, it was no longer about lost items. It was about assessing dominancy. It was about saying, you don't belong here. And when she told the man and his wife they should leave the country, that is a line that exposes everything underneath. That wasn't about the sandbox. That wasn't about supremacy. That was about entitlement. But here's the thing, getting interesting and honestly kind of poetic. The internet saw it, TikTok saw it, and now everybody is seeing it. Because this isn't just a local moment anymore, this is global. And in the wake up of this, voices like Shiloh's are rising. And let's take a second to appreciate what Shiloh is doing. She didn't just post a hot take, she's not chasing clans, she's holding up a mirror, and people are responding. Her funded style exploding. She started at $250,000 and is now well over $500,000. Why? Because people are tired of being gaslit, tired of being told they are imagining things, tired of being painted as the aggressor when they are simply existing. And Shiloh is doing something brilliant here. She's using her hate as fuel. She's showing how quickly people will find a voice that calls out injustice unapologetically. That $1 million goal might sound outrageous to some, but when you consider what she's up against and who she's presenting, it starts to feel more like repatriation than a crash grab. What is especially wild is that people are angry about her success, angrier even than they are about a woman threatening a child. Think about that. People who can't raise $10,000 for a surgery are furious that a black woman is raising money for her voice. Why? Because they don't want her to have power. They want her to stay quiet, but she won't. And the more they range, the more support she gets. That is what happens when the truth resonates. And make no mistake, this will be studied in decades. There will be academic papers about this, about how marginalized voices leverage social media to call out injustice, about TikTok became a battlefield, about how ordinary people use virality as a form of resistance. But let's not lose sight of the real issue here. A child was harmed, a woman who should never be near children acted on rage, racism, and ableism, and she did it with the confidence of someone who is probably gotten away with it before. That is why people are trying to identify her, not to harass her, but to hold her accountable, because if she's willing to act like that in public, what is she doing behind closed doors? And let's not forget, she has a child of her own. That is concerning, because children absorb everything. They internalize what they see. So what kind of future are we building if we let this slide? If we let adults bully neurodivergent kids and justify it with "he took my kids' toys"? No, not today. We need to keep speaking up, keep pressing record, keep amplifying voices like Shiloh's, because the more we expose the behavior, the less space it has to thrive. The more we fund truth tellers, the more power we take from people who think they can get away with it. So to the woman in the video, your time is up. We have been seen. And to the child of who was targeted, you matter. You deserve protection. You deserve care. And to everyone watching this, keep your eyes open, keep sharing, keep supporting. If this commentary resonated with you, hit that like button, share this video, and make sure you have subscribed for more real talk on what is happening in communities and online. Drop a comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, and as always, stay informed, stay loud, and stay human. Peace out.